Virgo.
Hello Virgo, this is your astrological forecast for June 2016, and I'm believing May was a very good month for you in so many ways. This month though, we have your focus on the career area, and this is going to allow you now to really work through those things, maybe even opening up for some new doors, new opportunities. As we have the Sun, we got Venus, we also have the new moon in this area. The new moon will be there on June 4th in 14 degrees. They're Gemini, so any other planets you have at 14 degrees, this new moon will be triggering off on it and allowing those new beginnings to plant those seeds, right? The new moon will only come to this area of your career once every year, and you have it now this month, so make the most out of it. This is the time we place our intentions, right? But now as the Sun is cruising through the sign of Gemini, you're allowing to embed the Gemini qualities in the way that you communicate and share your energy, since the Sun is your essential energy. And Venus too, here in Gemini. And Venus rules both love, what you love, money, and also romance. And it being in your career area right now is allowing you to really feel what it is you like or love about your job, maybe what you don't love that much about, what it is you want to change up. And it could also be a great time to actually have an interview, or hopefully also a raise if you've been waiting for it. Now Mars is retrograde, will be until June 29th, and it is currently cruising through your third house, which rules communication. Alright, so you might just feel that Mars is a little backwards right now. Mars ruling your physical energy, stamina, but also men in your life at this point, they might come at you here from a different angle than what you're normally used to, and that is due to that retrograde. But pay attention here, Virgo, what it is you're communicating and how that's being related or also taken in, since it is in this area here of communication, but also travel too. You might find that there's a little bit of hiccups in the system, delays, or it could even be misunderstandings, since it's in the third house area. But Mars is allowing you a little bit extended time to kind of wrap up loose ends for what you started a bit earlier this year here in February, March. So now being retrograde here, it will give you that extended time to get those loose ends all connected. Then we have Jupiter. Great news. Jupiter is on the run, moving forward again, and has been since May 9th or the 10th, depending on where you live. And Jupiter is the planet that really allows us to grow and expand and become more of who we are. It also opens up a lot more opportunities in our life as well, since it rules abundance. So where has abundance been moving backward in your chart? As for now, it's the first house. The first house rules you, your personality and whatnot. So you might have felt there towards the end of 2015 that you were on a good go, doors were opening, and then suddenly here January, boom, doors were shut. Now you'll start seeing, as it's starting to pick up speed, that your light will be back on, and you're exuding that much more confidence, radiance, and so forth. So that should be a joyous time. And you, Virgo, will be having Jupiter here in this area till late summer. Then it's going to focus on your finances for a full year. But that's later. We'll talk about that as we proceed throughout the months. Saturn currently still retrograde and will be to that of August 13th, 14th, no, 12th, depending on where you live. It could be the 13th if you're over in Europe that way, east over. But Saturn rules karma, it rules parents, it rules authority, our own inner authority as well. And having it in the fourth house, well, look at what's going on here on the home front. Your foundation, what's going on with your parents. Maybe they need a little bit more of assistance or help, attention perhaps. It could be you now having more burdens, responsibilities in the home. If you're trying to sell real estate, your property, that could be slowed down to a halt while Saturn is retrograde in this area, but it will pick up there in August. We have more retrogrades going on, so we have a whole bunch of them. We got Neptune here from June 14th, will be retrograding through that of November 20th. Neptune is our spirituality, it's also our hopes and dreams. It's that higher level, the higher octave of Venus, which rules love. So it's more that universal, cosmic love. And so for you here, it's in your 7th house of partnership, your significant other, and how you work with people one-on-one very closely. When Neptune is retrograde, it's not necessarily operating on the highest frequency. So sometimes we can become disillusioned, disappointed, confused, miscommunications, and so forth. So we just want to be a little bit more aware while it is under its retrograde journey. Uranus is moving directly, and for you, Uranus is in your 8th house for monies that you share with your significant other, or it could be with partners, like within royalties and commissions. And you can come to expect maybe now that there is some news that's going to breach here to the surface coming up here, especially mid-month, when you will have some nice directions to this planet. More on that just a little bit later. We just want to finalize here also with Pluto. Pluto will be retrograde to September 26th. Pluto rules transformation, the endings of the purging through, the letting go of the past and the inner old self as it tries to rebirth and come forward with new energies. And so for you, the area Pluto is transforming right now is the 5th house. Has to do with creativity, children, self-expression, love and relationships there too. So if you're undergoing that kind of shift in that area, you know where it's coming from. But yes, we have a lot of things going on. Just like May was a great month, those first couple of weeks, it's like there was so much activity and doors opening up, and then it slowed down more so to a little bit more of a testy time. If you go back and re-listen to May, you will see the transits there for that month. But it's starting off here June too, with an aspect of both the Sun and Venus. The Sun being you, Venus being love or money. It's being tested here towards Neptune. And since Neptune is retrograde, there could be some misunderstanding, miscommunication. Maybe you're saying one thing with one intention, and then whoever is listening might be hearing it in a totally different way. And so when things here on the 3rd comes a little bit more to head, when both the Sun and Venus, once again, together they're traveling, are now going to be opposing Saturn. And Saturn is karma. So when they're at opposite ends like that, you might be confronted with, or you might be confronting somebody and saying, you know, you said this. And they might say, no, I didn't. This is what I said. There's that miscommunication. So be very clear, especially on important things on the 1st. And so you can smooth through it a little bit easier there on the 3rd. And we have another challenge too on the 9th. This is Mercury and Mars. They're at opposite ends. Mercury ruling your mind, your focus, your attention level in that direction. Mars, your physical energy, your drive and action is in that direction. So you can see here that it might not just feel like it's coming together, and you could come to either feel somewhat frustrated or run into people who are frustrated here on the 9th. But then do know, it's just the planetary energies. It's not going to linger along for a long time, but it's not really a day to have deeper conversations or negotiations, because it's not gelling, right? On the 12th and the 14th though, this is nice. Venus and the Sun both are going to have a beautiful aspect to Uranus. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, Uranus, which is the planet of unexpected surprises, is in your 8th house for not your month-to-month income type money, but more investments or payoffs, royalties, commissions, investment payouts or inheritances, that kind of thing. There may be news coming to you there on the 12th through the 14th, as both the Sun and Venus both are coming in to this area. And the beam is coming from the 10th house, which has to do with your career. So it's most likely that the news will be coming to you from that area. Maybe there is a raise, maybe there is a promotion, or a bonus, whatever the deal could be. Maybe some of you, a new job. So at least it should be great, great news. However, here, Virgo, on the 17th, we got Saturn again. It rules government, you know, our inner authority, but it's also externalized out into the external world as governments or whoever it is that's in the power may come challenge you with that Neptune again. There's a square. So this is not a day to negotiate any good new deals or something, because something might just fly under the radar that you won't catch. And you don't want it to come around and bite you in the butt down the road. So if there's any contracts, well, make sure that you take time. And that's just to ask for some time while you reread it and go through it and assure it that it is the way you want it. Now, the Saturn is in your 4th house, that Neptune is in the 7th house, so it could be between home, family, real estate, perhaps partner, whether you're significant other, or it could be an agent, broker that you're working with, buyer, seller, whatever it is. It could be a contract, anything with important documents. Just be a little bit on the alert here on the 17th. And I'd say take that straight through to the 20th to Virgo, because Mercury, which rules not just communication, but it also rules everything verbal or written, agreements and so forth. It's not really looking good, because that Mercury is opposing Saturn on the 20th, squaring off on Neptune. So either something isn't the way it should be, and if it sounds too good to be true, that's probably the deal, right? So it's not a time to act. It's a time to really research those things. But then here also on the 20th, we have the full moon, 29 degrees in Sagittarius, which is the last degree within the area of your home and family. So this is where the light will be illuminated, which will be front stage. And it will bleed into the 5th house of love and romance, so that is all good. They're on the 21st, while the full moon is still pretty full, right? So, yeah, love, romance, children. It could also be your self-expression, your creativity coming forward. So the 20th, 21st is pretty good. And then we have the last aspects here of the month, which are looking awesome. Jupiter now, that has picked up speed moving forward, Virgo, is in a beautiful, perfect golden beam to Pluto. Jupiter expands and Pluto transforms, and Pluto can rule big money as well. But it definitely is that intense, pivotal energy that represents renewal and rebirthing coming in. And for you, that will be between the 1st house and the 5th house. So this is you, maybe either a loved one, a romantic interest. It could be you and one of your children, or a creative endeavor that you're working on, a project. It could come in with some great news about expansion. 27th, just the day after Venus, which rules money, is also in a beautiful trine here to Neptune. That Venus now here will be coming from your 11th house, which has to do with hopes, dreams, visions. It's also groups and organizations, friendships and so forth. So you can come and see here, there might be a blessing and a kiss to you from a group or a friend to something that you're partnering up with, working with, that can allow some hopes and dreams to come forward. So whatever the challenges earlier in the month has given to you, you can work through that. Just make sure, don't be hasty. Thank God the planets are retrograde. That Saturn especially, that can be a little hard right now. and Neptune too, because if they were direct under these aspects, you might have just went, oh well, and you'd cut to the chase and not really pay attention to those details. So for that reason, we are very thankful for retrograde planets. Listen here, Virgo, go listen to your taroscopes for this month too, just to see what that will bring you, a whole lot of extra insight and information.